To that racially motivated racist shooting at a Dollar General store in Florida. We're learning more about the three victims, all black Americans. Police say Angela Michelle Carr was shot while sitting in her car. Store employee A.J. Laguerre Jr. was shot as he tried to get away. And Gerald Gallion, a shopper, was killed as he entered the store with his girlfriend. His family says he had plans to spend the weekend with his 4-year-old daughter. This massacre all playing out in a little over 10 minutes. The Jacksonville sheriff said the 21-year-old suspect who took his own life at the scene lived with his parents, and he left behind writings that read like, quote, "The diary of a madman," unquote, full of hate. The AR-15 style weapon he used in the attack was purchased legally. Before the shooting, authorities say the gunman showed up at Edward Waters University, the nearby historically black university, where he put on a bulletproof vest there. But he fled after he was spotted by campus security. So joining us now, we want to bring in Jacksonville's Jacoby Pittman, who represents the neighborhood where the shooting happened. First, Ms. Pittman, thank you very much for being with us. I know this is a busy and difficult time. I want to express our sorrow for you and what your community are going through today. But I do want to ask, just how did you react? I know you're a Jacksonville native. You've dedicated your life to serving that community. How do you react to something like this?
Well, I tell you, my heart is heavy. Our community is very concerned. But what we want to do is heal from this heinous act of violence that was committed, to individuals that did not deserve this. Yesterday's prayer visual was an opportunity to start the conversation and start healing in our community. And I'm saddened by this. Our community is saddened by this, and it's hard to talk about. So, I am very emotional and still emotional, and my heart hurts just like the families and our community. Our mayor of Jacksonville and our sheriff, we are both aligned together to make sure that we get through this horrendous tragedy that has hit our community.
And I don't know, find some meaning in it. I don't know how one does that, but if I could ask you, how did you learn of the shooting, and what was your reaction when you heard it?
Well, I was actually coming from a HUD conference that was here in Jacksonville, and I came back to my office, and one of my colleagues called me, reached out, and asked if I knew what was going on in my community. And I shared with her that I didn't. And so once I found out, I immediately went to the scene where it happened. And there were many residents that were in the street. There were family members that was crying, friends. It was very chaotic. It was very sad that we couldn't go up close and personal. My Sheriff T.K. Waters, was coming out, and he was very emotional. None of us had ever experienced this in our district, to have someone come outside of our district. A white man came in a predominantly African-American district and start shooting people in a store that was on our main corridor. And so it has been heartening to even, talk about and see pictures. And, we have been in touch with the families, and it's been very, very hard. This has been a very difficult situation for us and our community. Our sheriff and our mayor has been intentional, along with me and the city council, to make sure that we're reaching out and that we continue to try to heal from this tragic event.
Can't imagine. And if I may touch on what you just brought up, that this shooting, this atrocity was motivated by racism, the evidence suggests strongly.
Yes.
Talk to me about, you mentioned the community. You know, I'm an older reporter. I'm 63 years old. When I was a younger man, racism was shameful, seemed to be under the rock of American life. Only the slimy people were there. Now you see it in a lot of places online and elsewhere, maybe even in our politics at times. How was the atmosphere in Jacksonville? Was this something that you could have imagined happening? Because, look, we're still working on this problem after several hundred years. Is this something that shocked you, or something that you recognize as there and erupted in this way?
Well, definitely shocked, especially in the middle of the day. Systemic racism has been around a long, long time. You know, what hurts is that, you know, trying to erase our history, you know, through policies. Unfortunately, our history has to be told. And we have to continue to join hands. As you saw in the middle of the street, all we could do is join hands and pray at that particular time, because, you know, we couldn't make a phone call. We couldn't write a check to make things change in that community. As you can see, us in the community, it is a thriving community. It has a lot of cultural heritages there in the community. We have HBCU, a college that's down the street from us. And, you know, right now it's all about healing. It's healing the families. This event of hate, you know, when I talk about it, I get so angry, has crippled our community. And that is unjust, and it shouldn't be happening. You know, we have seen an elevation of hate crimes, not just in Jacksonville, but around our communities and states, you know, and it hurts. I'm grieving for the families, you know, the children that have to go without a mother, a father, or a grandmother. You know, it is this life, every life matter. You know, what matters to those residents, it matters to me, it matters to the leadership in our community. And we must do better.
And to the country. No, absolutely.
Yes.
And if I could just ask one final question, because we are divided politically in so many ways. And Governor DeSantis, you know, he came to the vigil, he was booed, and you stepped forward and you said, you know, this is not about political parties. But you mentioned history as well. You know, he's declared himself the governor of the state where woke goes to die, talking about a lot of the teaching of history in schools and things like that. And I just wonder, you know, what was your reaction to the governor and what he had to say, and how, once again, this struggle over the meaning of our history, especially when it comes to race, has become front and center in his campaign and in the national conversation?
So let me say this, and I want to be very clear. You know, I don't support the governor's stance, because I am a Black woman, and a lot of those legislation that he supports, we just saw what happened to my community, you know, with carrying a concealed weapon. You know, anyone can carry a gun at this time. And I don't agree. And at this point, you know, it's not about Governor DeSantis. It's about the people in my community who have lost their lives, and we can't bring them back. And so, you know, as we move forward in healing our community from this senseless copycat crime, it is unjust. I don't agree with it. And as a community, we need to do something. As a United States, we need to do, because we're not the only ones. There were a lot of shootings over the weekend. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Every time you turn on the news, innocent people are dying. I'm sick of it.
Jacksonville, we all are. And the question is how we reckon with
the
that.
Things that yes, and one of the things we're doing, for the individuals in that who lost their lives, we are collecting. Our goal is $100,000 for those families, and we're asking the community and people across the states to donate to jfrd.com. No money is too small or too large to help these families, because they're going to need it. And I'm asking, I'm making. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share.
Jacksonville Councilwoman Jacoby Pittman, thank you very much, and our condolences. Good luck to you and that community.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.